Game 2 of the series between the Bend Elks and the Ridgefield Raptors is Parker Heintz's first pitch is a fastball that's checked on, and Julian Unai went around at the top of the zone. Elks looking to get back on track. Overcast night here in Ridgefield, Washington. Left on left, Heintz with Unai to open up this game. 0-1. Fastball called a strike right down the heart of the plate. Unai starts things off for the Elks, then Keaton Nadeau, Jace Miller, Cam Beck, Wynn Gurney, Ty Hattenhauer, Vinny Salvione, Hayden Smith, and Jackson Murphy. Righty-heavy lineup tonight. Unai just one of 2 lefties in the starting 9. 0-2 breaking ball, and Parker Heintz gets Unai on 3 pitches to open up this game. Aiden O'Neill up here in the broadcast booth as always. Pleasure tonight. Elks looking to bounce back after a tough loss yesterday, a game where they were up 7-3 at one point. Ridgefield came storming back, an 8-7 win, and the best offense in the West Coast League statistically just kept on mashing, turning things around in the second half. Now Keaton Nadeau will take a fastball that tails away. Parker Heintz, the 6'4", 175-pound southpaw from Clovis, California, wrapped up his freshman year at Fresno State this last season. 1-0. Nadeau takes a strike at the base of the zone. Home plate umpire tonight is Lance Kreck. On the bases, Jim Courtney. Those two just flip-flopping from last night. Heintz with a long look in, and now will wind and fire the 1-1 on a heater that's called a strike on the inner third. 1-2. The exact same pitching matchup as last Saturday between Heintz and Finn Chapman. Heintz went 4 innings, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. So 1-2 skips in, stopped by Braden Watson. Heintz was good, so was Chapman. They were both outstanding, and it resulted in a game last Saturday that was competitive down to the wire. Ultimately, Ridgefield coming out on top, taking that series. They lead the season series coming into tonight 4-3. The 2-2 skips in for a ball. Nice take from Keaton. Defense behind Heintz tonight. It's Poffenroth, Wattis, and Proctor in the outfield. Stuyvesant, Luna on the left side. Orem and Marion on the right side with Watson doing the catching. Payoff home to Nadeau. Popped up down the right field line, and it'll trail out of play to keep Keaton Nadeau alive. Collectively 9 hits from the Elks. They did strike out 11 times, though. Hoping to get things back on track. You saw the flashes of all the offense coming together on Wednesday night. Looking to get back to that form. Payoff to Nadeau, sails on Heintz. And Keaton Nadeau, the first base runner of the ball game for the Elks, on the base on balls. Nice at bat from Keaton, and it gets the Elks leading base stealer on the paths here in the first. Bringing up Jace Miller. Raptors in their all maroon tops with the maroon caps. Elks in their all gray road uniforms with the gold numbers. Heintz comes into Miller, and Jace takes a strike at the base of the zone. Jace last night had a 2-run home run to deep right field. A lot of carry to that side of the ballpark. Tonight again, some wind blowing out that way. 0-1, big swing and a miss as Miller chased down and in. Parker Heintz not shy with filling up the strike zone. These Elks are going to have to be ready to hit. Entering the game tonight, 33 strikeouts to just 12 walks in 35 innings. Miller choking up. The 0-2 home misses down and in tight. Keaton Nadeau always a threat over there at first. 13 stolen bases. Long look there, now the 1-2, and Miller fouls it off his foot. He'll take a long walk, looking to shake it off. Last night, Jace Miller banged one off that same leg and was in a considerable amount of pain, stayed in the game. So some bruises building up on the left leg everywhere around that guard that he wears each night. Heinz on the 1-2 once more, and Miller goes to a knee, striking out on a breaking ball. The second time that Parker Heinz has worked a K. With 2 outs, it's Cam Beck. Beck, the Oregon State Beaver. A lot of power from the right side. Huge physical frame. As Heinz delivers a fastball that's popped up foul beyond home plate. Last night was Ridgefield's drone show. Was a beautiful sight. Great crowd on hand, and another one tonight. First pitch temp sitting right around 70 degrees, but heavy overcast. 0-1 changeup. Lance Crack rings up Cam Beck, but it was 0-1. So now Crack realizes and probably apologizes to Beck and says it's 0-2. Maybe a good time for Keaton Nato to steal. Give Beck a chance with 2 outs to knock him in. Heinz delivers. Fastball misses up. Beck showed off that power stroke in Corvallis with a moonshot of a home run. And when you're physically built like Cam Beck, if you just put a ball in the air, it goes a long way. 1-2 curveball, called strike 3. This time Crack can ring him up. And Parker Heinz strikes out the side. Just the walk by Keaton Nato, but nothing more for the Elks offense. To the home half, Raptors coming up when we come back. Home half of the first inning coming up. Raptors digging into the plate, and they'll start it with their center fielder, Zach Wattis. Finn Chapman towing the rubber from the first base side. He'll wind and come home, and the first pitch fastball misses outside. Wattis dominated last night, and since the Raptors have gotten him back, they've been happy. One of the best hitters in the entire West Coast League. 4 hits on Friday. The 1-0. Heater misses up and away. Big overshift on for Wattis. Finn Chapman, the right-hander, threw against the Raptors a week ago and dominated in his first Bend Elks start. 5 innings, and he struck out 10. 2-0. Swung on and missed. Wattis with a huge hack and a miss. The lineup tonight for the Ridgefield Raptors: Wattis, Marion, Luna, and Proctor, Watson, McCluskey, Orem, Poffenroth, and Stuyvesant. Finn Chapman, the Vallejo, California native. 2-1 heater misses down and away. Through these last couple of seasons at St. Mary's after starting his college career at Oregon, and currently in the transfer portal looking for that next step in his journey. 3-1 to Wattis. Misses outside, ball 4, but not the worst case scenario, although it's to start off the inning just because of how dangerous Wattis is. This Raptors lineup in the boombox that this Ridgefield Raptors home stadium is does a whole lot of damage. Leads the league in homers, runs batted in, and consistently all year long has been the best offense in the league. So Chapman has to be careful. Now it's Jordan Marion. Same start to the lineup as yesterday. Marion in the 2-hole, the switch hitter from the left side. Wattis dancing off a first. Chapman delivers a heater that's called a strike at the knees. The one thing about Zach Wattis is he possesses almost every tool that a baseball player could want. Extremely fast at his tall size. 15 stolen bases. And right on cue, Chapman will throw over to check on him. Did have a stolen base yesterday in the 8th inning. Chapman comes set from the first base side. Wattis goes. 0-1 is grounded to Unai at second. His only play is at first with the stealing runner. And he gets Jordan Marion. That moves Zach Wattis up to scoring position with just 1 away in this first inning. Bringing up Carson Luna. Luna, the Michigan man, a Wolverine, had the forbidden golden sombrero last night at the plate, so I'm sure he was happy to get back to the yard today. As Chapman fires to him and the slider misses away. Luna, another outstanding player with an average over 300. 4 homers, 15 driven in. Began his college career at Texas and now working his way to the Big Ten. Chapman pauses and comes on the 1-0. The heater misses in. The defense behind Finn Chapman tonight: Murphy, Nato, and Miller in the outfield from left to right. Hattenhauer and Salvione on the left side. Unai and Beck on the right side. And Hayden Smith catching, the same as last night. Chapman 2 looks at Wattis, now the 2-0, and Luna swings through it. It was at the bottom of the strike zone. Friday ago, Carson Luna was our player to watch in the West Coast League Game of the Week. Since that moment has cooled down a bit over the last 7 days, but that bat's still dangerous. On the 2-1, Luna's going to try to take third. The throw misses, and Luna takes in tight. Wattis steals third, now 90 feet away. You've got to be quite the base runner with speed to try and take third. And Wattis read Chapman well enough to take it. Infield will stay back early here in the first inning. Ball in play for Luna would bring in a run. Chapman's 3-1. Fastball lined right at Salvione. It's short and he squeezes it. That ball was hammered off the bat at 99. But Vinny Salvione barely had to move a muscle, and that is a fortunate break for the Elks. That's the game of baseball. When you're riding a cold streak, you can smoke a ball and it still will find a glove. 2 away, and it's Josh Proctor stepping up. Chapman going back to the windup. He'll rock and fire. Slider called a strike at 86. Chapman, a competitor, and in that first start of his Bend Elks career, filled up the strike zone. Jim Courtney's going to say something to Finn Chapman, telling him he has to come fully set, acting as a balk warning in a way. And Chapman looking at Courtney to get some clarification on what he needs to do. Chapman with a big deep breath. Long look in. Will come set and fire the 0-1. Slider misses up and in tight. Proctor in last night's game went 0 for 1 with 3 walks. Elks didn't give him anything to hit. He willingly took his bases. The Oregon State Beaver. 1-1. Fastball runs in tight. Almost got Proctor on the thigh, but he takes in Braden Watson on deck, who absolutely made his impact on the game with 4 runs batted in last night. If you're Chapman, likely will look to come into Proctor so he doesn't have to face Watson with runners on. 2-1, skied to center. In the park, Nato will go back to his left. It carried a tad, but Nato makes the catch in front of the warning track, and Finn Chapman works a first inning 0. No score after 1. We'll go to the second on the Bend Elks YouTube page and be back after this. To the second inning, no score here in Ridgefield. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Win Gurney coming up to face Parker Heinz. Hitters 5, 6, and 7 in the Elks order this inning against the lefty. Nice work by Finn Chapman despite a runner being 90 feet away, getting out of the inning. Got Proctor to fly out to center. Heinz works home to Gurney, who's well out in front on the off speed. Gurney was in the lineup yesterday Started in center field, then moved to left after the first inning, as the 0-1s flip to Braden Orem, who is playing on the shallow outfield grass at second base. Right up the middle, makes the catch. Gurney just hit it 72 off the bat. If it was a tad higher, it would have sailed over Orem's head, but instead he didn't have to move. One away for Ty Hattenhauer. Ty getting the start tonight. Recent graduate of Caldera High School in Bend. Heinz fastball swung on and missed by Hattenhauer, who was late. With the ever-changing Elks, and you're going to see a lot of new faces over the final 2 weeks of this season, the local kids are going to get a lot more playing time. Hattenhauer swings through the 0-1 at 87 at the top of the zone. And that's what Alan Cox is hoping to build here in Bend, a culture where the young youth players end up playing on the Elks, similar to a team and a program he managed in the Okotoks Dogs for quite some time. Hattenhauer chases the 0-2 down. Lance Kreck's signal as it was a foul tip into the catcher's mitt and Watson. But the fourth strikeout already from Parker Heinz, and we're just 2 outs gone in the second. Elks had strikeout problems during their road trip to Vancouver Island in British Columbia. Have since been improved, but creeping back in tonight so far as Heinz's fastball misses up to Salvione. Vinny was in there last night, 4th year in the West Coast League. Started in 2023 with Cowlitz. 1-0. Misses up. Cowlitz, a program no longer in the West Coast League, their final year last year. Same ownership group as the Ridgefield Raptors, and since those teams have essentially merged together, the Raptors, talent-wise, have improved a ton this year. Been an outstanding group. 2-0 heater, called a strike at the knees. Salvione led off yesterday and played second base. RBI double that came in the third. The Elks had a 5 spot in that inning. Everything was sailing well. Salvione takes a strike at the knees, 2-2. He thought it was a bit down. Heinz working quick, but after that 5 spot, the offense quieted down and the Raptors rallied all their way to a Friday night win. 2-2, 2 outs, nobody on, no score. Heinz's curveball is swung on and missed by Vinny at the base of the zone. And Parker Heinz has struck out the side. He struck out 5 batters in 2 innings, 5 of his 6 outs coming via the K. We'll go to the bottom of the second on Bend Elks YouTube. To the bottom of the second inning, Vin Chapman facing Braden Watson to start this frame. And on the first pitch slider, he'll flip one down the left field line. It's a fair ball. Murphy will pick it up before it gets to the corner. Throw it to the cutoff man, Salvione. And holds Watson to a single. But Braden Watson continues to torment the Elks. Even the bloop singles are falling for Watson. Just 76 off the bat, a C&I hit. Still shows up the exact same in the box score. Runner on first, nobody out. And the hitter's Reagan McCluskey. Chapman sets and delivers. Fastball cold, a strike on the outside corner. McCluskey, the Brentwood, Tennessee native from Dallas Baptist. Throw back over to first. Watson is back with a dive. Chapman just seeking to settle in early like he did in his last start against this same group. Comes set on the first base side on the 0-1, and the heater runs down and away, stopped by Hayden Smith. It was a tough night last night. Go-ahead run for the Ridgefield Raptors came in on a wild pitch. And those miscues that the Elks have dealt with on the defensive side came back to bite them in the biggest spot of the game. Hoping tonight for better fortune. Long pause this time from Finn as 1-1 is skied to shallow left center field. Murphy moving over will make the catch. Watson trails back to first. One gone in this second.
Now batting, second baseman, number 4, Braden Oram.
Now Braden Oram. Name of the game, though, for this Elks pitching staff is throwing strikes. That's been a question mark at times this season. That walks, hits, plus innings pitch stat, biting them. Finn to Oram. Slider called a strike. Oram, the former Bend Elk from just last year, then ended the 2025 summer season in Cowlitz. So staying with that same organization in a sense. Being with Ridgefield this year. Off a year at MSU Denver. Chapman's 0-1 with one out. Swung on and missed. Oram chased down in the zone, 0-2. Interesting dynamic if you're Finn Chapman and Parker Hines. Back-to-back starts against the same team. Naturally, the second time, a group is going to be much more prepared against you. So an extra battle, game within the game. 0-2 to Oram. Tapped foul as Hattenhauer chases it near the box, lets it go. Oram started at third base last night, went 0 for 3 and walked in his last at-bat. Interestingly enough, with the Elks, he didn't play anything but outfield. And since that moment has been primary infielder. 0-2. Fouled off the catcher's mask and Smith. Oram, a good Elk, though. Him and Jace Nagler, both formerly in Bend and taking their talents to Ridgefield now. Chapman comes, sets, and deals a slider that got Oram swinging. Just the first strikeout for Finn Chapman tonight. Oram swings through the off-speed. There's 2 away in the bottom of the second.
Now batting the left fielder, number 29, Gavin Poffenroth.
With 2 away, Gavin Poffenroth steps up from the right side. Chapman will throw over to first, and Watson's back with the dive. Braden Watson started off this inning with the single to left. Chapman's retired the next two. Throws to Poffenroth and misses in tight on a fastball that almost hit Gavin. Poffenroth, an all-star last year with the Cowlitz Black Bears, and was an outstanding member of their team, their outfield unit, with the Ridgefield Raptors closer to the bottom of that order just because of how deep the entire nine is. 1-0 from Chapman. Slider misses up and away. From Vancouver, Washington. Staying close to home. .246 average with 10 runs batted in. Comes set on the first base side. The 2-0 runs down and away, but knocked down by Smith enough, even though it squirted to the right, where Watson has to stay put at first. Braden Watson, no stolen bases on the summer, but if you were to just watch him and his lead, you wouldn't think that. Still making Finn Chapman think. Throw the 3-0. And a fastball misses inside, ball 4. Second walk from Finn Chapman. The first came to start the game to Zach Wattis. 9-hole batter Nate Stuyvesant will step up with 2 away. Chapman had to work through a jam in the first inning, and another one here in the stretch. First look of Nate Stuyvesant in this series. Chapman delivers a slider that's popped up foul behind home plate and off the net. Just 3 total at-bats from Nate Stuyvesant, the Redondo Beach, California native. Formerly at Stanford and then at LMU at the moment. 0-1, 2 outs with runners on first and second. Slider gets the call on the outside corner, 0-2. Chapman's been able to locate that secondary stuff. It's keeping the Ridgefield Raptors in the rocking chair. On second is Watson. On first is Poffenroth. 0-2 with 2 away. Chapman throws, and his slider misses down and away. Making Finn Chapman work a bit this inning. Zach Wattis waiting on deck, so Chapman knows who he wants to face. Similar to that first inning, picking between Proctor or Braden Watson. Ultimately singled to start this inning. Watson ready's on second. The 1-2 fouled away, a pitch that was in tight, and somehow Nate Stuyvesant fouls it off. Defense ready, straight up across the board. Now does Chapman. The 1-2 with 2 outs. Misses down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Elks entering this game 16-27, sole possession of last place in the West Coast League South. Unfamiliar, uncharted waters for head coach Alan Cox. Even just a win would work wonders on the road. 2-2. Fastball grounded softly back up the middle for a base hit. Watson gets the wave around third. Nado's throw's going to come home on one hop, but it was off to the right. And Watson dives in safely, the first run of the ball game on an RBI single from the 9-hole batter, Nate Stuyvesant. Misspoke when I said softly. It was just hit on the ground right back up the middle, but 94 off the bat. Finn Chapman missed middle. And Stuyvesant's eyes lit up. So for the second straight night, the Ridgefield Raptors strike first. And now it's Zach Wattis. Chapman kicks and deals. Fastball misses away. You get the thought process if you're Finn Chapman. You see Zach Wattis waiting on deck. Had to throw a pitch in the zone, but if he were to have it back, would have loved to have that on a corner instead. 1-0 to Wattis. Slider called to strike at the top of the zone. A gift from Lance Kreck. It was a bit up. Zach Wattis walked his first time through and then ended up stealing a base. Poffenroth on second, Stuyvesant on first. Infield overshifted to the pull side of the lefty Wattis. 1-1. Slider misses down and in. 6'4", 210-pound power threat that does it all at the dish. An average well over 300, was an all-star at this year's West Coast League All-Star game in Victoria. Still has to stay on a spot as the 2-1 is swung on and missed, and Wattis was out in front. At LMU, 194 at-bats, but just bat 216. And those numbers not correlating at all with the Wattis we've seen this summer. That has been arguably the best all-around player in the league. Long look in this time from Finn Chapman, and he comes set. 2-2 with 2 outs. Change up. Cold strike 3 on the outside corner. A long time for home plate umpire Lance Kreck to decide. And man, oh man, that was significantly off the plate. But gets the call. Finn Chapman escapes with just allowing 1 run. It's the RBI single from Nate Stuyvesant, but nothing more. 1-0 Raptors as we move to the third on Bend Elks YouTube. Top of the third inning, Hayden Smith takes a fastball that misses up and away. 1-0 Raptors after they score in the second on an RBI single from Nate Stuyvesant. Smith, Murphy, and then the top of the order looking to answer back. The 1-0 to Smith is lined into center field. Coming in is Wattis, and he makes the catch on the run. It was falling fast. It looked like it had eyes for the turf, but Wattis takes it out of the air. 1 gone in the third. That's tough if you're Hayden Smith. You hit a ball well, but just right at a guy. And Wattis with some of the best closing speed on the team used every bit of that 6'4" frame to make the grab. Now Jackson Murphy takes a strike at the base of the zone. Parker Heinz moving along. The scouting report exactly what the stats say. Throwing a whole lot of strikes. 0-1. Murphy chases down in the zone. And there were shades of that already from Parker Heinz at school. He only threw 14 1/3 at Fresno State. But a 3.14 ERA. Didn't nearly have the same success when it came to finding the zone with 7 walks to 6 strikeouts. But has figured something out in Ridgefield. 0-2 skips in for a ball about 4 feet in front of home plate and goes to the right of Watson. Jackson Murphy found something in Corvallis. That Wednesday game picked up his best hit of the year, a 2 RBI double to right center field. Now just hoping he can steady out as the summer enters its closing season. 1-2, Murphy chases down in the zone. Tag applied by Braden Watson. And that is already the 6th strikeout for this Elks offense. 6 of the 9 batters, the first time through the order, down by way of the K. And with 2 away, here comes Julian Unai. All 6 Ks have been swinging, too. He's just fooling these Elks as Unai swings through a curveball. You can see why Parker Heinz has a bright future in the game. Still so young and ton of skill to pitch at a high level. 0-1, back to the curveball. These Elks can't see it right now. It is just the same pitch over and over again. It has been an invisible. And Unai will take a step out and step back in. Struck out his first time. Has to protect this time around. The 0-2 with 2 outs. Unai strikes out, chasing down. Watson can't find it, but unfortunately for him, kicks out in front of home plate. And his throw to first was almost sailed over Marion's head. Marion keeps his foot on the base. The 7th strikeout for these Bend Elks. Already through 3 innings. 7 of the 9 outs from Parker Heinz have been on a strikeout. And you're getting those same feelings that you did in Vancouver, British Columbia, where the Elks were averaging 15.5 strikeouts per game. Needing to make an adjustment against Parker Heinz. Fortunately for them, still just 1-0 as Finn Chapman will start throwing his warm-up pitches. While we got you here, let's take a look around the West Coast League on this Saturday, July the 25th. Edmonton on top of Kelowna at the moment in the top of the 6th by a score of 2-0. Nanaimo and Port Angeles 0-0 top of the 3rd. Springfield on top of Marion 3-0 bottom 3. This run from the Drifters has been impressive. They just took a series at Walker Stadium against the Portland Pickles. And now if they hold on tonight are in the process of another series dub. Victoria beating Kamloops 3-1 in the top of the 3rd inning. Victoria an outstanding team. Yakima took game 1 of the series between Corvallis and the Pippins, but tonight Knights beating the Yakima Valley Pippins 4-0 bottom 2. That's a huge series when it comes to those final playoff spots in the South. Bellingham trailing Wenatchee 7-0 already in the top of the 2nd inning. And Walla Walla and Portland just underway in the top of the 1st at Walker Stadium. They had the West Coast League game of the week last night, and it delivered. Walla Walla, them and the Ridgefield Raptors have stood out in the West Coast League South. And Walla Walla is hot of a team, as you'll see. Now 28-18 on the year. They took that game of the week by a score of 5-3. Back here now for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jordan Marion starting things off from the left side for the Ridgefield Raptors. Marion, Luna, and Proctor. 2, 3, and 4 in the Raptors order. Chapman looks in as he readies from the first base side of the rubber. Will wind and kick, and the changeup is swung on and missed. Finn Chapman just looking to give this Elks offense a chance. Went 5 innings, 10 strikeouts in his first start against the Raptors. 0-1 heater called the strike at the top of the zone, up and in. Getting that spot. Marion, his first time through, grounded out to Julian Unai, who was shifted to his left. And the same time here with the pull hitter up. 0-2 changeup, misses down and away. Sun now poking through the clouds behind us, lighting up the field. Still a warm night for baseball despite the overcast. Chapman on the 1-2. Check swing, dribbled up the third baseline. It stays fair. It's fielded by Hattenhauer, and it's an infield single. Ty Hattenhauer would have been wise to at least try to let that go foul, but instead he picks it up in fair territory, and it results in a knock.
Shortstop number 44, Carson Luna.
It was a tough play with the spin that it provided. Hattenhauer, new to third base, played shortstop primarily at Caldera High School. Now it's Carson Luna. Chapman will step off. Luna lined out to Salvione on a hard hit ball in his first at bat. Chapman fires a heater that's called a strike on the inside corner. That was one where Luna groaned at it, but it did get the inner third in 91. You see why Chapman gets that hype regarding making another jump to a Division I program. 0-1 sliders, foul back off the net. Possesses some A1 stuff with a fastball in the low 90s and a slider that he can throw for strikes. Carson Luna just looking to get things going again at the plate. The Houston, Texas native. 0-2 from Chapman. Slider misses well down and away. Hayden Smith, a nice job stopping it. That's been a room for the Elks that has been ever changing. The catchers, over a 2-week span, they lost both Marcus Galvin, or 3 catchers actually, Marcus Galvin, Jordan Ortiz, and Nate Snakenborg. Now left with Hayden Smith and Isaac Pfeiffer. 1-2, fouled back off the net. So it's required a guy like Hayden Smith to start to step up, to commit to Utah coming out of Glendale Community College. And he's done exactly that, at least on this road trip. He's got the bat going. Time is now called as no one picked up the foul ball that went off the net to the right side. So Hayden Smith runs after it. The ump stopped play for a sec. Jordan Marion off a first with some speed. Long pause from Chapman is 1-2. Sky to deep right field. Going back on it is Miller at the track, at the wall. He makes the catch. That ball had backspin, and after Jace Miller's home run yesterday to that same part of the yard, you hold your breath, but Miller keeps it in, and there's one out.
Now batting the right fielder, number 33, Josh Proctor.
Now it's Josh Proctor who flew out to Keaton Nato in his first AB. 1-0 Raptors. They scored in the second. Runner on first, 1 out. And that runner being Jordan Marion. Chapman throws. A slider that's chopped to the right side. Unai has to range over, and it bounces off the turf going over his head. Miller's going to field it. Throw to third as Marion was trying to go there. And they call him safe. The ball beat him by 5 feet, but Lance Kreck calls him safe. And I'm not sure if Ty Hattenhauer didn't apply the tag, but it looked as clear as day that he was thrown out. I am perplexed. It went over Julian Unai's head at second for a base hit into right. Miller picked it up. He threw to third on a perfect one-hop strike. And it appeared that Ty Hattenhauer applied the tag, but apparently he didn't. Runners on the corners now with one out, and Braden Watson gets the hit with a couple of runners on base. Throwing home is Chapman, and his fastball misses up and in tight. Watson smiling and looking back out to the mound, maybe thinking there was some intent behind it. Dangerous hitter that the Elks have to be careful with. Chapman with the pause and the 1-0. Slider hit well to left field, but right at Murphy will make the catch. Tagging at third is Marion. Murphy's throw goes into the cutoff man Hattenhauer. Marion comes in to score on a slide, and it's 2-0 Raptors. So that no call at third on the out ends up being a huge difference in this game because there wouldn't be a runner at third at all. It goes down as an RBI sac fly. Braden Watson adds on to his seismic total. Just as yesterday, a 2-0 lead for the Ridgefield Raptors. Bringing up Reagan McCluskey. Chapman to McCluskey, stealing his Proctor. Fastball called to strike. Throw down to second. Not in time. Proctor beat it there and kept his hand on the bag. Second stolen base for a Raptor tonight, the first from Proctor. Does a lot with 2 outs because it gives the Raptors another RBI opportunity with a base hit. Proctor runs well. Chapman peeks back there 2 times and now delivers the 0-1. Heater misses low. I'd love to watch that play again because with there not being any dispute on Ben's side, you wonder if Hattenhauer just simply dropped it or from the dugout angle it was more clear that Marion was safe. Hattenhauer was the only one that questioned the call over there at the hot corner. 1-1. Slider cold to strike at the belt. McCluskey, his first time through, flew out to Jackson Murphy on a ball that Murph had to come in on. 1-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 Raptors. Chapman throws and got him chasing on a slider down and away. Smith has to clean it up. He'll throw to first, and that will end the inning. The third strikeout from Finn Chapman, but not after the Raptors add on another run. And it came after a controversial call at third where Miller threw it in there on one hop. Hattenhauer, or what we thought, applied the tag. And it ultimately was not called an out. We'll go to the 4th inning. Raptors on top 2-0. And we're back after this. Top of the fourth inning, Parker Hines still working along for the Raptors. 2-0 Ridgefield. Curveball misses up and away. Elks offense has punched out at a high rate. 7 of the first 9 outs from Parker Hines have come by way of the K. Nato reached his first time on a walk and will take up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Road struggles have continued for Bend, and they're looking to put it behind them tonight. Been just a weird season where you can't put your finger on it, but sometimes that really is baseball. 6-16 the Elks are away from Gena. Nato takes a strike on the inner third. But you still take peace knowing there's a glimmer of hope. In now or never mode and have to start winning practically every game. But you still come to the yard each day with something to play for. As the 2-1's grounded up the middle and booted by Braden Orem. Nato is blazing down the first baseline. Going to give Orem an error on that. But Nato still ultimately reaches anyway. And you get that speed on the bases again, just like you did in the fourth. Change up to Miller, called a strike. Chase with one swing of the bat in last night's game ended up giving the Elks the lead. Won the batting title last year in the West Coast League and back for more with the Elks. But it's been a bit of a different season from Jace. 0-1, curveball's crushed. Deep to left field, going back on it is Poffenroth, and he makes the catch at the track. Nato has to retreat back to first. Jace gave it a ride, but it had too much topspin where it stayed in the yard. One away in the fourth. Alan Cox back out there as the Elks' first base coach, alternating with Wes Harper. Johnny Kemp down there at third per usual. Beck digs in, who struck out his first time, and Nato takes off. Fastball misses up, throw down a second, not in time. Keaton Nato somehow got his hand in there, but by the naked eye, Orem slapped the tag right on top of that very hand. This will stand as Nato's 14th stolen base of the year, but now Chris Cota is going to go and chat with base umpire Jim Courtney, wondering what he saw. Just looking to get an explanation from Courtney, but not going to get the base umpire, who is right on top of it, to overturn that call. Elks got a runner in scoring position with one away. Braden Orem, who applied the tag, immediately came up perplexed as to how that was not called an out. And you'd think that a guy that applied the tag would have the best opinion on the very matter. 1-0 to Beck, lined into shallow left field, ranging over to his left is Poffenroth. There's 2 away, and Nato has to stay at second. With 2 gone, it's Wynn Gurney stepping up. The Elks are still looking for their first hit of the ballgame. Gurney popped out his first time to the second baseman in Orem. 4 hits on the Raptors side. Gurney chases and misses down and in. Hines cruising along. 2 looks at Nato. His pitch home is fouled right back to the net. Gurney also one of the Elks that's coming back for another year and searching to get things going. wrapped up his freshman campaign at LMU, where the playing time was limited, and he's been dealing with a nagging hamstring injury. 0-2 heater, and Gurney strikes out swinging at the top of the zone. Parker Heinz picks up strikeout number 8. To the bottom of the fourth, 2-0. The Raptors on top. Bottom of the fourth inning, 2-0 Raptors on top. Orem, Poffenroth, and Stuyvesant coming up as Chapman's fastball misses in tight. Finn's pitch good and looking to keep it going, but the offense has been quiet. Still getting no hit. Orem struck out his first time in the second. 1-0, checked his swing but missed low. Appeal to Jim Courtney, he did not go. Chapman just staying loose and keeping that same level of consistency that we saw at Gena when it comes to just throwing strikes and moving along at a fast rate. 2-0 slider misses down and away. His goal at this point, just keeping the game intact in any way he possibly can. Elks have just had 2 total base runners. 3-0 fastball right down the heart of the plate, called a strike at 89. Braden Orem, threat to get on base also because of his speed, so have to be careful if you're the Elks. 3-1, called a strike. Finn Chapman working all the way back. Infield shifted to the pull side for Braden. Chapman winds and comes in on the payoff. And Orem flips one down the left field line. It's fair. Slowly trickling to the corner, fielded by Murphy, but with the speed of Braden Orem, a bloop double to start off the bottom of the fourth. That is the first extra base hit of the night for the Ridgefield Raptors, so the first extra base hit in this game, too. And it comes in this pitcher's duel on one that was only hit 73 miles per hour off the bat. The 5th hit of the night for the Ridgefield Raptors, and now it's Gavin Poffenroth. Hadenhauer starting to creep in at third. Chapman delivers a heater that misses up. We got some clarification on that play. That was a single into right, and the throw from Miller was on one hop. Hattenhauer just didn't squeeze it and apply the tag. He ended up dropping the ball. The throw would have been there, though, by a couple of feet, and got the runner and Marion by quite a bit. 1-0 to Poffenroth, misses down. Gavin Poffenroth walked his first time through. His time is now called from Hayden Smith. Joining them with the mound meeting is Vinny Salvione. Pre-game talk to Elks pitching coach Wes Harper, who's a former Ridgefield Raptor. Wes pitched with Sacramento State. Boise State was a D1 arm. And now in the coaching world as a pitching coach himself. Was one of my favorite conversations this year. Wes is kind of a guy as they come, but also just analytical mind in this modern era of baseball. 2-0 fastball misses high. And speaking of Wes, the way he manages the bullpen tonight will be intriguing, with obviously the series finale coming tomorrow. His top dogs available, including best reliever on the Elks in Jackson Ashley. Finwell behind Poffenroth. The 3-0 misses low. And a 4-pitch walk to Gavin Poffenroth puts the Raptors in business. The third walk from Finn Chapman.
Third baseman number 10, Nate Stuyvesant.
And Nate Stuyvesant, who already has an RBI single tonight, steps up with a chance for more. Base hit would easily score with the speed of Orem. Chapman seeking a double play. He throws and Stuyvesant squares around but pulls back, taking a strike. Thinking about bunting here to set up two runners in scoring position for Zach Wattis on deck, which makes perfect sense, with Wattis being one of the biggest threats in this lineup. Chapman a long look into Smith, and now comes set. 0-1 to Stuyvesant, who squares around again, and his bunt goes foul. Just to the right of home plate, 0-2, and that will likely take the bunt off. With 2 strikes, forced to let Nate Stuyvesant swing away, and it wasn't the worst thing in the world when it happened in the second inning. Peek back at Orem, the 0-2, misses down and away. It gets by from Hayden Smith and just far enough to the right, where Braden Orem saw a ball in the turf and took off to third. The back runner, though, and Gavin Poffenroth stayed at first. Now runners on the corners with nobody out. Just some stretching in the Elks bullpen, but nobody actively warming up. Tough spot for Ben, looking to limit the damage. The 1-2. Fastball misses outside. That's a great 2-strike pitch that could have gone either way at the top of the zone, up and away. Chapman wanted it and will have to work for it again. 2-2, nobody out. On third, Orem. On first, Poffenroth. The pitch from Chapman. Running is Poffenroth, and Stuyvesant swings through the fastball. So you get the strikeout. Poffenroth steals second. And after all the chaos with the wild pitch and the stolen base, it's the equivalent of Zach Stuyvesant laying down a bunt, giving Zach Wattis an opportunity with a couple of runners in scoring position. You do have the open base, though, on first, so no reason to pitch to Zach Wattis. Have to stay on a corner. Overshift on for the lefty. Chapman throws a fastball that misses high. Wattis walked in the first and struck out his last time. Looking on a pitch that was well outside. Was a gift from Lance Kreck. Chapman's 1-0. Misses down and in, and with it now being a hitter's count, wouldn't be surprised if the Elks just put Wattis on. Has been a hitter that has garnered loads of national attention with everybody picking up on the hype train. Looking for one pitch, one spot. And the 2-0 is lined right back up the middle for a base hit. Orem's going to score. Here comes Poffenroth. He will score. It's a 2 RBI single from Zach Wattis. And you wonder why they gave him anything to hit. Zach Wattis has consistently been that hitter. RBI number 31 and 32. But they still give him a fastball in the zone, and he does exactly what you expect. Raptors up big here in the fourth. Time now called from Wes Harper, going to talk with his starter and Finn Chapman. Bit of a different story than that first start for Finn again against these Raptors, where he went 5 innings, punched out 10 unscathed. Tonight the Raptors have got to him, and that's the flip side of facing a team for the second time in a week. As they can start to pick up on your stuff, the Raptors have done it. On the other side, Parker Heinz has continued his role. One away, Wattis on first, and Jordan Marion digging in. Chapman throws. Fastball grounded foul up the first base line, hit well. Carrying over after last year, these road struggles just hard to explain for the Elks. You think back to 2025, a year the Elks made the playoffs. They still were 10-18 on the road. Throw over to check on Wattis, who's back safely. Wattis stole third base in the first inning. Always a threat to go with his long strides at 6'4". 0-1 from Chapman. Dribbled softly up the third baseline, and Ty Hattenhauer wisely lets it go foul. Marion will take his long walk back to get the bat. 0-2, 1 out. Marion coming from UC Santa Barbara, just like Braden Watson, who's now committed to Evansville. Marion, a utility infielder, picked up 2 runs batted in last night at second base. And tonight at first. Luxury for Chris Cota to put him anywhere. As Wattis takes off on the 0-2, and it's fouled back. Straight steal from Zach as he dove into second. And will now have to jog back to first. Got a seismic lead on Chapman, who forgot about him. Would have stole it with ease. Marion his last time singled on the high chopper over Julian Unai's head, helped out by the turf. 0-2 heater misses up, changing the eye level on Jordan Marion. Just 9 games with the Gauchos. 4 total at-bats, but had 2 knocks in those 4 ABs. UCSB, one of the best mid-majors in the country. So 1-2. Grounded foul off the foot of Marion, bounding towards the Elks' first base dugout. Looks like now a member of the Elks starting to throw. Can't tell yet who it is exactly, but we'll keep you updated on that. Sun now shining through the clouds again. 1-2, Wattis goes, swung on and missed, strike three, throw down to second. Not in time. Zach Wattis, his second stolen base of the night, this one of second. But Finn Chapman ends up striking out the batter. That's his fifth K. Gives Carson Luna a chance with a runner in scoring position. Chapman to Luna. Fastball called a strike at the bottom of the zone. Already down 4. Finn Chapman's shoes, not an easy way to pitch with the lack of run support, but he's just got to keep this game as close as possible. 0-1, slider misses up and in tight. Carson Luna 0 for 2, a line out and a fly out. This crowd's starting to get into it. Burying his deliveries is Chapman. The 1-1 misses low, blocked by Smith. Announced today, Raptors have their playoff tickets on sale. We'll host whoever the 4 seed is in the West Coast League South playoffs. The way it works, though, in the West Coast League is that first game is in the other team's park, and then the final 2 in the division series are at the higher seed. 2-1 misses in and hits Luna right in between the numbers as he expresses a grimace. 89 off the back. 4th free pass allowed from Finn Chapman, and he apologizes to Carson Luna as he heads down to first. If there's a positive of getting hit with 89, it's that Luna got hit where he has the majority of his flesh. No small ligaments can be hit or bones when you get hit directly in the back. Will absolutely leave a mark, though, and now Josh Proctor will step up. 2 runs in this inning from the Ridgefield Raptors. They scored 1 in the second, 1 in the third. 4-0 the score. 2 gone and 2 men on base. Josh Proctor takes a slider at 80 at the bottom of the zone. Proctor's 1 for 2. Also stole second base after his single in the third. Salvione shifting him to the pull side. 0-1 heater misses away. At 6'5", 235 pounds, Proctor, great athlete for his size. The Raptors have similar builds with Zach Wattis out at second. Watson also a big frame. Making up for this outstanding offense. 1-1. Swung on and missed. Chasing down was Proctor. It's now 1-2. It was a perfect game, midseason freshman All-American. 51 games with Oregon State. And to do that as just a freshman, incredible, and such a highly touted program. Chapman's 1-2, grounded to the third baseman, Hattenhauer, who fields it on a slide. He thought about going to second, but wisely fires to first, and that will end the inning. Nice play from Ty Hattenhauer, but it comes after the Elks had an open base at first with Zach Wattis up, and they pitched to him. He took full advantage on a 2 RBI single. To the 5th, Raptors on top. Top of the 5th inning, Parker Heinz working along in his changeup to Ty Hattenhauer, misses outside. Elks trail it by a score of 4-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. 1-0. Swung on and missed from Hattenhauer. It's now 1-1. Ty made that nice play to end the 4th inning, going to a slide at third base. Gets rewarded with an at-bat to start this inning, but these Elks are still looking for their first hit off of the lefty Parker Heinz. 1-1 to Hattenhauer, misses low. Hattenhauer, Salvione, and Smith this inning. Any way to snap the skid, the Elks will look to try to do that. Hattenhauer's been good at the plate despite striking out his first time. And we'll take a fastball that misses up and away. Just graduated Caldera High School where he had ridiculous numbers. An average over 500, slugged almost 1,000. Hit 7 homers, knocked in 36. As he takes a strike. And we see Ty look comfortable as a recent high school graduate amongst some great competition in the West Coast League. Think about how he dominated the high school ranks if he can hang with these guys already. Working a nice at-bat to start this 5th. The payoff. Fouled away off of Watson, and it got him where you don't want to be hit. Writhing in a considerable amount of pain on all fours behind home plate. And crawling on the ground as his mask comes flying off. This is not a pretty sight. Watson still just writhing. Chris Cota coming out with the trainer to check on him. This is not good by Watson's reaction at all. Still getting looked at by the trainer and Chris Cota. Fans just waiting along patiently. That is never fun for any male that has experienced exactly that. Wind completely knocked out of him and on all fours just writhing in pain. I mean, that's one of the tough things about the catcher position. It's almost impossible to continue the game after that. I just hope that Watson's okay physically from a health perspective too. 3-2, no outs. Hattenhauer still hitting. It's now been over a minute, though, with Watson on the ground. Just hurting on that turf, now to one knee. Is the trainer still looking at him? It's an impossible feeling to shake off. Watson is still down, and Cota and the trainer asking for water for Braden Watson. This is one of those where it'll take a minute, but I guess Watson stays in the game. Until that, we'll step aside for a sec and be back when play resumes, hoping that Watson's okay, as he's now up but still hunched over. Be back in just a few. All right, back here in the top of the 5th inning, Braden Watson appears to be staying in this game, which is a great sign. Taking some pitches to make sure he's okay from the lefty and Parker Heinz. Ty Hattenhauer will be up 3-2 the count. Nobody on base, nobody out. Watson catches his third warm-up pitch. They'll let another one be thrown. Vinny Salvione waiting on deck, and Hayden Smith after him. And it looks like Watson's going to be okay, taking a big, deep breath. And now resetting it all. That's an impossible one to shake off, as I mentioned before the break. And just happy to see that Braden Watson's all right. Hattenhauer struck out in the 2nd inning. And the payoff from Heinz. Hattenhauer chases down in the zone for strike 3. After that long delay, Parker Heinz gets a swing and miss. His 9th strikeout tonight. One away, and it's Vinny Salvione. Vinny also punched out in his first at-bat. That's been what the Elks have done so far. But Vinny this time will ground one to the shortstop, Carson Luna. Moving to his left, he'll field and throw to first. 2 away from Parker Heinz quickly.
Now batting the catcher, number 12, Hayden Smith.
The Elks are still searching for their first hit of the game tonight. Hayden Smith bats and takes a curveball that misses away. Out of this year, the Elks weren't even in the conversation for the most strikeouts in the league, but at the moment tied for 3rd. The majority of the strikeout woes have come on the road. Smith takes a fastball down the heart. Hayden Smith, his first time lined out to Zach Wattis in center field, who made a nice catch coming in on the ball. 1-1. Misses down low. After game 2 tonight, game 3 tomorrow, a 1 o'clock start. Ridgefield, one of the few places in the West Coast League that does that, so the Elks will get that series finale out of the way early and then head home. Off day Monday before 6 straight. The final homestand of the season. 2-1 to Smith, grounded softly back up the middle. Fielded by Orem on the run. His throw to first ends the inning. 5 innings of no-hit shutout baseball from Parker Heinz, who is dominating these Bend Elks here in Ridgefield. First pitch to Braden Watson misses up and in tight here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Elks trail it by a score of 4-0. New pitcher into the game, Enrique Perez, and the 1-0 is grounded through the left side. Braden Watson with another single. And coming off an inning where he got hit where you don't want to. He looked healthy there on the knock. Still limping down to first, but the bat locked in. His second hit of the night, and it starts off this 5th. Enrique Perez, the righty out of Oregon Tech. (6'2", 210 pounds from Camas, Utah. Swinging through that is McCluskey. Just one inning from Enrique Perez, a 9 ERA. That connection with Johnny Kemp, who's the assistant coach at Oregon Tech. So a lot of arms on this team from theirs. The 0-1 misses down and away. McCluskey 0 for 2, a fly out and a strikeout. Perez looking for a ground ball. 1-1. Fastball misses up and in. Snap throw down to first. Runs up on Beck, and back with the dive is Braden Watson. Perez at Oregon Tech, a 10-2 ERA in 15 innings. Struck out 10 and walked 5. Look into Smith and fire the 2-1 that swung on and missed. Kluski was out in front on it. 2-2 the count, nobody out. Bottom of the 5th, 4-0. Raptors on top, 7 hits to 0 for the Elks. Perez throws a slider that's cold. Strike 3 at the bottom of the zone. Enrique Perez picks up a K on a pitch that was a bit down, but a nice frame from Smith. Elks themselves getting strikeouts. With Perez coming in, that means Finn Chapman's night is done, and it wasn't a terrible night by any means, but also not the same Finn that we saw at Ghana last Saturday. Here's Braden Orem, and he flips another ball into shallow left for a base hit. Murphy's going to cut it off. Trying to go first to third is the runner. The throw there is in time. Jackson Murphy cuts down Braden Watson. Moving up to second on the play is Braden Orem, but a perfect field and throw from Murph.
That's another donation of the Clark County Food Bank. Thank you to Safeway and Albertson's Nourishing Neighbors program, and thank you to
Jackson Murphy, not the strongest arm, but an accurate one, and makes a great play and a great throw. There with 2 away now. Bringing up Gavin Poffenroth. No batting gloves from the right side. Enrique Perez delivers. Fastball cold, a strike on the inside corner at 85. That means with Perez in now that a guy like Jackson Ashley being saved for later in this game if the Elks are still in stiff competition with the Raptors. 0-1 slider, cold, a strike on the outside corner. Perez filling up the zone, putting pressure on these Ridgefield bats. Poffenroth has walked 2 times. Also stole a base in the 3rd. Here's the 0-2 with 2 outs. Breaking ball. Misses up. Perez just going back to that slider. It was high. 8 hits now after that Orem knock to none for the Elks, but 4 runs to 0 is the score. Perez is 1-2. Ground ball softly to the right side. Fielded by Beck, the first baseman flips to the covering Perez, who finds the base, and that'll end the inning. A well-executed PFP after the one-out double. But the play of the inning came from Jackson Murphy, cutting off a ball before it went to the corner. A strong throw to third on one hop. Got the runner in Watson. We'll go to the sixth. 4-0 Raptors on the Bend Elks YouTube page. Parker Heinz's night is done. And Max Schneider, the hard-throwing tall righty, will come in this game and fire a fastball at 92 that misses away. Murphy then the top of the order for the Elks, still looking for their first hit here in the sixth. Schneider delivers. Misses low at 91. Schneider from Acton, California. Was an incoming freshman at LMU in 2026 and got a rude welcome into college baseball. Murphy fouls it straight back with a 15.9 ERA. Walked 31 batters to just striking out 21. But this summer has started to dial in that command. A similar story to Parker Heinz that we told the lefty out of Fresno State that started this game. Murphy struck out in his first at-bat and will sky the 2-1 to center field. Wattis moves to his right and he makes the catch. One away, and the top of the order coming up in Julian Unai. The swing and miss is what jumps off the page, though, from Schneider, and he does it with that hard-throwing fastball. A 15.5 K per nine this summer. 27 Ks to 13 walks, and he throws a heater to Unai that misses high at 93. Unai's been victim of the K 2 times. Both of his at-bats. 1-0, foul back off the net. Unai coming from Everett Community College. Johnny Kemp was in a race for the ball with the ball boy and ended up winning that race. 1-1. Slider checks his swing, did not go. But at Everett, Unai hit over 300 and now garnering Division I interest. He's had a solid summer with the Elks, showcasing a lot of skills as a middle infielder. 2-1 fastball. This is outside. If anyone's going to get the Elks going offensively, you feel good about Unai and then the rest of the top of this order. In a hitter's count. And on the 3-1, he'll take a strike. Thought he saw ball 4. It just got the top left of the zone by a hair. And he'll have to walk back in the box and now keep this at-bat going against Schneider. Full count, 1 out, nobody on base here in the 6th. 4-0 Raptors. Overshift to the pull side, and the payoff is fouled away. It's tough if you're the Elks and you're this coaching staff looking for answers in a multitude of ways. And it just all has not been going their way. There hasn't been one thing to point at. Shadows setting on the field as the sun sets just beyond us. 3-2 from Schneider, and his fastball is called strike 3 on the outside corner. Another gift from Lance Kreck, similar to the one to Zach Wattis earlier. Should have been ball 4, but Unai's instead going back to the dugout. That's a tough break. A hat trick tonight from Julian Unai in his first 3 at-bats. With 2 away, here's Keaton Nadeau. That is the 10th time the Elks have struck out. We're just in the 6th. Schneider curveball to Nadeau. Nadeau bailed out of the way of it, and it missed low. Keaton's reached 2 at-bats. Last time on an error right back up the middle. 1-0, slider, check swing, he went around. Nadeau out of Cal State San Bernardino, playing under his dad, Mike. On the 1-1, it'll miss in. And has been beloved so far in Bend. Taking a lot of pride in being in Central Oregon after his dad played for the Bend Bandits in the 1990s. Sending his son there to now compete. And Keaton's been a star center fielder for the team. 2-1, checked his swing on a curveball and misses low. Now 3 balls and 1 strike. Crazy enough in this game, the Elks have only had 2 base runners, and Nadeau's been each of them. And on the 3-1, he'll take a strike. A walk and then an error. The other 8 batters in the Elks lineup have not gotten on. The payoff with 2 outs. Schneider's curveball got him looking. And it just got the top of the zone to end the inning. Another 0, and the Elks are still getting no hit after 6 innings. Max Schneider strikes out 2, does not allow a base runner. 1, 2, 3, the Elks go. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. 4-0 the score. Enrique Perez back out for his second inning of work, this time second inning of full work. Nate Stuyvesant stepping up from the right side. Stuyvesant, Wattis, and Marion, 9-1-2 coming up for the Raptors. Perez is 0-1, skips in for a ball. 4 runs on 8 hits for the Raptors. The Elks, no runs on no hits. Stuyvesant had an RBI single in the second, struck out his last time, and will ground this one to the right side of Vinny Salvione at short. He slides, spins, throws to first, and beating it out is Nate Stuyvesant. It would have been an impossible play, and it's an infield single all the way there. But Vinny almost made it. Kicking himself, thinks he should have. Even if the throw was on the money, Stuyvesant runs well. I think he may have beat it out. With the runner on, here comes Zach Wattis. Perez throws a changeup, and Wattis is way out in front. Had a back-breaking 2 RBI single in the 4th inning that got the Raptors on top and started to allow them to pull away in this game. 0-1. Elbow guard flying off mid-pitch, and he swings through it. Wattis tried to call time, but Lance Craig didn't grant it to him. It was slowly slipping off of his elbow, and he seeked to reach his left hand up, but Craig didn't grant it. In that 4th inning, the Elks had an open base at first, runners on second and third. They didn't walk Wattis, and he made him pay. Perez on the 0-2. Changeup misses away. This time through the order, the 4th time through. A lot of these bats, their first look at Enrique Perez. Will be a challenge for Wes Harper to keep these bats on their heels with the arms that go out. 1-2 curveballs popped up to either Beck or Julian Unai, and it's Beck moving over to his right, making the catch. That could have got dangerous with the collision, but the tall first baseman and Beck took over. 1 out.
First baseman number 3, Jordan Marion.
With 1 away, it's Jordan Marion. 1 for 3 tonight. Looking for a ground ball. Nate Stuyvesant off of first with speed, and Perez recognizing that, throwing over to check on him. Stuyvesant, though, no stolen bases, a new Ridgefield Raptor. Perez throws a fastball that's fouled off of the glove and Smith and gets knocked down. Majority of this crowd sticking around. The sun almost completely set. And the flag now becoming limp in left field. Not as much wind or carry out to right field as the 1-1 misses up and away. Ridgefield in this building has been outstanding. They've made their money at home. 14-8. Perez on the 1-1. Fastball misses high. On deck, Carson Luna, then after him, Josh Proctor. 2-1, 1 out, runner on first. 4-0 Raptors in this bottom of the 6th inning. Perez delivers. Fastball fouled away up the first baseline. But a year for the Raptors where the job isn't done yet. You think about winning the first half and all that's gone into this season. The South is going to get funky. The league has been backwards in a sense from what we've seen in past years. South is usually the one that dominates with the top teams. This year it's the North, so the South wide open. The 2-2 swung on and missed for strike 3. Enrique Perez gets Marion way out in front.
Number 44, Carson Luna.
With 2 gone, it's Carson Luna stepping up. Perez delivers. Swung on and missed. Luna was out in front. They just haven't adjusted to that Enrique Perez changeup. It's been his best pitch, and he just continues to throw it in any count. Luna was hit by a pitch his last time, and on the 0-1 will take a strike on the inside corner. Credit to Enrique Perez, who is coming out of the bullpen, and there's been a lot of times, especially on the road, where those Elks members of the pen have not been able to throw strikes. Perez is doing the exact opposite, forcing the hand of Ridgefield. 0-2. Misses up and in on a slider. Perez looks in and delivers. Slider misses low. Count runs even at 2. Unai playing near the base, but beyond it, up the middle. Salvione moving towards the pull side. Perez zeroes in on his target. The 2-2 with 2 outs. Fastball. Cold strike 3 on the inside corner, and that'll end the inning. 2 Ks in the 6th for Enrique Perez. Bright spot out of the bullpen. We'll go to the 7th. Elks playing catch-up, still looking for that first hit. While we got you here, thanks so much for joining us on Bend Elks YouTube tonight. If you are not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to our account. Also, we have the opportunity to watch without YouTube ads. And more on that. Just a quick sec here. Nate Stuyvesant's going to come back out on the mound for another inning of work. He throws his warm-up pitches. If you are an ad-free Elk Streams member, make sure you're watching on the separate members-only stream, not the public one. It is the same live game broadcast, just on a separate YouTube stream with the ads turned off. And to watch ad-free, go to the Bend Elks YouTube channel, find tonight's stream labeled Members-Only Ad-Free Stream, and open that one. Not a member yet? Hit the join button on the Bend Elks YouTube channel and choose ad-free Elk Streams to support the broadcast and watch without YouTube ads. Jace Miller will start off this inning against Stuyvesant. Elks running out of outs, and step one at this moment will be to just get a hit. Stuyvesant delivers. Fastball swung on and missed. Miller, Beck, Gurney, hitters 3, 4, and 5 against the tough reliever. 0-1 breaking ball. Called a strike at the base of the zone. You can get your big boppers going. The rest becomes easy. The 0-2. Fastball grounded. Softly back up the middle. Tough play for Luna. Ranging in. Fields on the run. His throw to first is in time.
Now batting first baseman
bringing up Cam Beck. Beck 0 for 2. Fastball from Stuyvesant misses up. One 0 to Cam. Slider cold to strike on the outside corner by home plate umpire Lance Kreck. He just got the top and outermost part. Cam Beck, an ideal guy to get things going with his power. Can get that first run on the board with one swing of the bat. 1-1 heater, called a strike on the outside corner. It's now 1-2. Getting deeper, getting later in this game. Start to wonder if history could be on the line. The Raptors made it last Sunday against the Elks with their outstanding offensive performance as the breaking ball misses low. And a chance tonight to make some history with the arm, or arms collectively. Parker Heinz to Nate Stuyvesant. Those two have dominated. 2-2 to Beck. Fastball popped up on the infield to the right side. Marion ranging in and foul territory near the bag, and he dropped it. Foul by a foot. But it gives Cam Beck another chance. 2-2 with one out. Breaking ball misses low, and now a full count. The drop from Jordan Marion, the super utility guy at first base tonight. Not able to squeeze that one in foul territory, and any extra life, breath of fresh air the Elks will take. Payoff to Beck, curveball misses high, ball 4. So because of that drop, the Elks get their first base runner since the 4th inning.
Now batting designated hitter number 1, Win Gurney.
And it brings up Win Gurney. Gurney, who's 0 for 2 tonight, doing the DHing. Schneider misses outside on the slider. Playing him deep to left center field. Schneider gets the big swing and a miss from Gurney. These are two teammates going at it, two LMU Lions, rekindling that relationship in summer ball. One. Slider also called a strike, and both in the same class, so I'm sure that relationship runs relatively deep. Maybe one in an at-bat they've already had in the fall. Inter-squad action. 1-2. Slider skied to left center field, but Poffenroth moves over, and he squeezes it for out number 2. Win Gurney didn't put a bad swing on it at 84 off the bat, but well-located slider from Max Schneider ultimately got the out from Win Gurney. Ty Hattenhauer steps up. Take a fastball that misses high. Two strikeouts tonight from Hattenhauer. They'll throw over to look at Beck, who's back with a dive. 0-1. Fastball misses outside. Throw down to first, and Beck is back with a dive. Think about Ty dominating Bend, Oregon baseball, but facing an arm like Max Schneider is a different level. An adjustment to that with his wipeout stuff. 1-1. Ty's late on 89, swinging through a pitch down the heart of the plate. Will now have to protect. 1-2, 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Elks still looking for that first hit. 4-0 Raptors. Coming set on the third base side of Schneider. Stealing on the pitch is Beck, but it swung on and missed. And that'll end the inning. Or is it? Nobody's left the field yet. Lance Kreck is saying the count is 2-2, not strike 3. So this will be a stolen base from Cam Beck. No argument from Ridgefield's side. We'll just do it again. The 2-2 with 2 outs. And Hattenhauer strikes out anyway. Right through it on the outer third. 7 innings of no-hit baseball from the Raptors. 4-0 the score. Bottom of the 7th inning. Perez fires in a slider for a strike on the inner third. Enrique Perez, his 3rd inning of work, will face Proctor, Watson, and McCluskey. Weathered the storm out of the bullpen. The 0-1 skips in for a ball. Finn Chapman wasn't bad at all. He did give up 4 runs, but also in his outing was able to strike out 5. Just got hit around the second time he's faced this team. Is the 1-1 to Proctor's popped up. 2 shallow right center fields. Miller and Nato coming together. And the center fielder Nato calls him off to make the catch.
At the plate, catcher, number 30, Braden Watson.
1 away. Braden Watson digging in from the right side. Entering potentially a historic night here in Ridgefield. Not one the Elks want to be on the side of. But still no hits. A goose egg in that column. Perez throws to Watson. He checks his swing. Appeal down to Jim Courtney. Says Watson didn't go. That looked like he was awfully close to doing so, but no, according to Courtney. Watson, great night at the plate again with 2 hits. And he'll take a breaking ball that misses down and away. Now the Elks dugout is barking at Jim Courtney. And he's writing something down on his, or maybe just putting a pen back. I'm not sure what Courtney's frustrated about. That looked like a check swing where Watson went around and just a missed call. 2-0 from Perez. Swung on and missed. Single in the second for Watson, an RBI sac fly in the third, and then another hit in the fifth. Perez on the 2-1. Watson scolds one to deep right center field. Nato's going back near the wall and makes the catch. He covers a lot of ground out there, the Elks' star defensive center fielder. And Perez staying efficient with the quick 2 outs. This is something to watch as the night continues. Jim Courtney with the Elks dugout because he keeps looking in there. Built up frustration too with the no hits on the offensive side. Perez to McCluskey. Breaking ball hit him on the back. It's a 2-out base runner on the free pass. Just a pitch that slipped out of the hand of Enrique Perez at 77. Now Braden Orem. If you believe it, the Elks, although they have no hits, down 4, still in this game if they can keep the deficit where it's at. With 6 outs to play with. Perez's fastball skips in, and it's blocked by Hayden Smith. Orem has a pair of doubles tonight, and both were not hit particularly hard at all. They just fell in the same spot down the left field line. With Orem's speed, was able to leg out extra bases. Fastball misses down and in. 2 balls and no strikes to Orem. In Ridgefield off a year at MSU Denver. Same spot that Bend Elk favorite Easton Amundsen was at a year prior to Orem. 2-0 from Perez. Called a strike on the inside corner. But Orem from Lacey, Washington, that year at MSU Denver junior season, and after he spent time at Lower Columbia College. 2-1 to Orem. Hit well, deep to right field. Miller's going back at the wall, and it's gone. Braden Orem goes to the opposite field. A 2-run shot makes it 6-0. His first of the year.
And that's another home state measure home run. And the first Raptor home run.
Making his old team pay. Just 333 feet to the opposite field. But there's natural carry to that right field, and it just rattled beyond the fence into the bullpen. First homer of the night. That's similar to Jace Miller's last night, where he just put a ball up in the air to right, and it kept on going. Orem with the swing, and that marks the end of the night for Enrique Perez, who was so good up until that hit by pitch with 2 outs. And then he faced Braden Orem, who made him pay. New pitcher coming in is Jack Harper when we come back. 6-0 Raptors here on the Bend Elks YouTube page. Jack Harper, the new righty into this ball game, will face Gavin Poffenroth. Entering for Enrique Perez, and on the first pitch, fastball is fouled down the left field line. Harper lasted Cal State East Bay. Late addition to these Bend Elks this summer, the younger brother of pitching coach Wes Harper. Harper, the last time he threw was in the Elks' 31-0 loss on Sunday, which was against the Raptors. That's fouled away. Went an inning in that one. Really tough spot they put him in with the bases loaded and nobody out. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. Did strike out 2 batters. Now in a spot seeking to limit the damage as the 0-2 is ripped into right field for a base hit from Poffenroth. 95 off the bat. Make that back-to-back hits from Ridgefield, who now have 11 tonight.
Now batting third baseman number 10, Nate Stuyvesant.
With 2 away, it's Nate Stuyvesant. Harper comes set on the third base side and delivers. Fastball fouled right back to the net. But cool to see Wes and Jack get that relationship back. Sibling love never changes and honestly only grows stronger as you get older. And Jack and Wes experiencing that, now no longer living in the same house with both growing up. 0-1 from Harper, misses down and away. Elks in the next inning will have the bottom of the order coming up. Salvione, Smith, and Murphy. 1-1 the count, 2 outs, 6-0. Raptors on top after the 2-run shot from Braden Orem. Harper throws a fastball that swung on and missed at the top of the zone. Raptors have swung it tonight with 11 hits of their own. Taking off is Poffenroth, but chasing on the pitch is Nate Stuyvesant. And that will end the inning. They get 2 runs on the 2-run shot from Braden Orem. Just sneaking over the right field wall. We're done with 7. Another new pitcher coming in. It looks like it's going to be the lefty Aaron Lewis. We'll go to the 8th on the Bend Elks YouTube page. Top of the 8th inning, Vinny Salvione stepping up against the new pitcher, and Aaron Lewis, and his fastball is called to strike on the inside corner. 6-0 Raptors. Elks still getting no hit. 11 hits to 0 on the Elk side. And how baseball works sometimes is it comes full circle. And Aaron Lewis will fire in a strike to Braden Watson, who got completely crossed up. Fortunately, he's okay, and he'll go and chat with Lewis. That could have been disastrous, as Watson caught that super awkwardly and is now confirming the signs with Lewis. Lewis, a two-way guy that just hit for the Elks a little bit during the first half of the season last year. He's now making his way to Ridgefield, and I'm sure that's popping in the back of his head, especially in an opportunity like this. As the 0-2 to Vinny Salvione is blooped to the first baseman in Marion, who leaps up in the air and makes the catch. When you look back in no-hitters throughout time, there's plays that define the game. And Jordan Marion there takes a hit away to preserve this no-hitter. He used every inch of that big first base mid along with his vertical leap. Now Hayden Smith. Lewis misses down and in on a fastball. This stage, if you're the Elks, you're playing more than just coming back. You're looking to avoid being a part of history. Smith 0 for 2. Line out and a ground out. 1-0 from Lewis. Popped up, foul, and out of play. Lewis from the University of Portland, and a powerful lefty bat who just homered a couple of nights ago for the Ridgefield Raptors. Fire the 1-1 that misses low on a curveball. Could be a time, too, from Alan Cox to go to the bench and get a new face to face one of these arms. Look to spark a newfound jolt. Hitters count to Smith. The 2-1. Popped up. Shallow center field. Wattis has to race in. Orem has to go out. And Braden Orem squeezes it. There's 2 gone in the 8th. Aaron Lewis has retired. The first 2 batters in the 8th inning. Now 4 outs away. Throw to Murphy, who lines one into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit in front of Zach Wattis. Jackson Murphy in the 8th inning breaks up the no-hit bid. The Elks avoid history, and Ridgefield will give this Ridgefield Raptors staff a round of applause for the effort to go 7 2/3 of no-hit baseball. Even with Zach Wattis' speed, he couldn't close in and get there. Lewis fires in a strike to Unai. Now the focus goes back to the game if you're the Elks. 0-1. Heater misses low. String together a couple of runners and then hope for a big blast. Unai struck out 3 times tonight with a hat trick, looking to avoid the golden sombrero. Lewis's fastball is swung on and missed at. In the top of the 8th, 1-2, 2 outs, 6-0 Raptors. Majority of Julian Unai's at-bats have come against left-handed pitching, and he struggled. The 1-2 is slashed foul off the net. But hoping to commit soon is Unai, looking forward to that next chapter, wherever it may reside. all we know is we've been extremely impressed with Julian in his time in Bend. 1-2 heater, he does strike out. And a golden sombrero for Julian Unai in game 2 of this series. No runs from the Elks, but Jackson Murphy breaks up the no-hitter on a single to center field. Bottom 8 when we return. Bottom of the 8th inning, Jack Harper throws a changeup to Zach Wattis, who swings through it. 6-0, the Raptors on top. And it's the top of the order for Ridgefield this inning. Another night of tough sledding baseball for the Elks. And fortunately enough, Jackson Murphy broke up the potential no-hitter last inning. Wattis swings through the 0-1. Jack Harper in another inning of work out of Cal State East Bay from San Jose, California. The third pitcher on the Elks side. 3 righties they've thrown tonight. Harper delivers. Changeup that's fouled away. Zach Wattis creeping up towards the league lead in batting average, so that's something to watch as the season continues. That batting title race always fierce. Kai Malt currently in the lead with the Portland Pickles at an average over 380. Harper's 0-2 is tap foul. Wattis tonight 1 for 3 at the plate. And you can't have any more anticipation than Wattis going into another year at LMU. The 0-2. Fastball misses up. Has a couple of triples too, 6 home runs. And the changeup to Wattis is called strike 3 at the knees. Second time that Wattis has gone down looking. Bring up Jordan Marion.
Baseman number 3, Jordan Marion.
Marion struck out in his last 2 at-bats. Harper filling up that zone. Little throw home, and Marion fouls it away. Jordan Marion at the start of that 8th inning took a hit away from Vinny Salvione, and it felt like if that no-hitter was going to stay intact, you needed to play at some point that was going to be spectacular. And it came from Jordan Marion, but just 2 batters later, Jackson Murphy ended the bid. 0-1 to Jordan, foul down the left field line onto the berm. Fan tried to make a play with the glove, but it went by him. Marion coming from a program at UCSB that's always in national talks. Just had a top 5 pick in their own right in Jackson Flora going to the San Francisco Giants as Marion fouls it up the first base line. Flora, a former member of this very West Coast League, just showcasing all of the talent that comes through here on a year-to-year basis. And can only imagine that both Marion and Watson benefited so much in those inter-squad contests when they were facing the upper echelon of arms like a Flora, building them up for summer ball. 0-2 to Marion, lined right back up the middle and down in center field. A single, the second hit of the night from Jordan.
Now batting shortstop number 44, Carson Luna.
Stepping in is Carson Luna. Harper comes set. Delivers to Luna. Fastball called a strike at the top of the zone. Take a look around the West Coast League for a moment while we got a chance in this 9th inning on this Saturday, July the 25th. Edmonton beat Kelowna 9-4. They ultimately take that series at home. 0-1 to Luna, misses low. The 9-0 on top big against Port Angeles, 9-2, bottom 7. Springfield beat the Marion Berries 4-3. They've dug themselves out of that gutter in the West Coast League South. Another series win after beating the Portland Pickles, going for the sweep tomorrow. Victoria on top of Kamloops, 11-1, bottom 7. As the 1-1 to Luna's popped up. He slams his bat in frustration, and Cam Beck makes the catch. 2 outs in this 8th inning. Corvallis is crushing the Yakima Valley Pippins 16-2 in the top of the 7th inning. Yakima took game 1 of that series last night, and Corvallis responding tenfold. I believe when we checked with you guys last, Wenatchee was crushing Bellingham. They've come all the way back 9-8 on top in the top of the 8th. Slider home to Proctor, misses in. And then the Portland Pickles in game 2 of that series up 5-1 against Walla Walla. As expected, that series is going to go back and forth down to the wire. Could potentially be a playoff preview. Harper on the 1-0 to Proctor, grounded back up the middle. Salvione dives and stops it. He throws to first, not in time. Proctor runs too well, almost. An incredible play from Salvione. He did all he could to stop it, but that's the second hit of the night from Josh Proctor and gives Braden Watson another chance to hit. Braden Watson earlier when he was catching got hit where you don't want to be hit as a male and takes a strike this time, but he's been able to stay in this game and has picked up multiple hits offensively. Last time through, flew out to the center fielder in Nadeau. As dangerous of a hitter as they come, and although we're in the bottom of the 8th, Elks still seeking to limit that damage. 0-1 from Harper, misses low. Another member of the UCSB Gauchos in that competitive Big West. All the conference realignment, though, is going to shake up the baseball world and college sports in general over this next year. Slider misses away. Dua. Slider called a strike on the inner third. UCSB, not next year, but the year following, will join the West Coast Conference, which is changing a ton. New look Pac-12 incoming as well after all the top dogs went to the big conferences. 2-2 to Watson's chopped to the left side of the infield. Coming in is Hattenhauer. He fields and throws to first to end the inning. A nice play on the run from Ty Hattenhauer. Ultimately ends the eighth. To the ninth inning, Aaron Lewis will look to close out the Elks. 6-0 Raptors when we come back. Top of the ninth inning, Aaron Lewis in his second inning of relief will look to shut the door. Raptors on top by a score of 6-0, looking to take the series and the season series with a win. Keaton Nadeau swings through a first pitch fastball. Nadeau, Miller, Beck, hitters 2, 3, and 4 in the order. Elks offense, with the exception of a couple of games, have been awfully quiet on this road trip, and again tonight. Nadeau takes up and away. 3 batters have reached base for the Elks, 2 of them being Keaton Nadeau. Or make that 4 batters, with 2 of them being Nadeau. So take a fastball down the heart of the plate. Ball starts with that leadoff base runner, though, if you're looking to string together a rally. Aaron Lewis is pounding the zone. These Elks just got to be ready to hit. As he throws the 1-2, and Nadeau fouls it back off the net. Game 3 of this series will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Final game of the road trip, and counting down the days, final days of this season, with just after this one, 3 total series left. 1-2 changeup. Misses down and in, and for the Elks to make that postseason, it'd have to be a miracle run. I had to start with this series in Ridgefield, and last night was the game where you're going to think back on it for quite some time as one you needed to take. Lewis steps off and recollects on the 2-2. Lewis delivers. Fastball misses up and away, tails away from him with the natural two-seam movement coming out of the lefty's hand. 13 hits on the Raptors side to just 1 for the Elks. Lewis's payoff. Nato strikes out swinging at the top of the zone. One away in the 9th.
Now batting, right fielder number 13, Jace Miller.
The 14th time that an Elk has struck out tonight. Here's Jace Miller. Lewis home on a fastball, called a strike at the knees. Just pounding that strike zone. Miller's 0 for 3. 0-1, he chases way down and in tight and just fooled at the plate. So now take a long walk, kicking himself after that swing. Miller, as always, will choke up on the bat from the right side. Playing him straight up across the board. Lewis on the 0-2, strikes out Miller. The second K of the inning, and the Elks are down to their final out. 15 Ks on the night, reliving the nightmarish sequence in Vancouver. Something that's haunted the Elks on the road has just been an abundance of Ks. Cambeck takes a curveball low. Impossible to point to just one thing, but from Parker Heinz to Max Schneider to Aaron Lewis, these Ridgefield Raptor arms have dominated the Elks. 1-0 misses down. Cambeck reached on a walk and stole a base in his last at bat. Any way possible, looking to continue this game. 2-0. Popped it up foul and out of play. Raptors have turned things around after that 10-game losing streak when they entered Ghana last weekend. Beck ropes one foul down the left field line. Will go on to the concourse and a sprint after it for the kiddos. Elks down to their final strike. 2-2, 2 outs, nobody on. 6-0 Raptors in the top of the 9th. But those Raptors have started to turn things around, looking to win their 3rd straight. And on the fastball, Beck stays alive, fouling it back. If Beck were to reach, Wynn Gurney is on deck. Back foot all the way to the back of the chalk line. The 2-2 misses down and in. A full count to Cambeck. Crowd on hand, still sticking around late into this night as it's gotten colder. Hoping to see the Raptors win. On the 3-2 to Beck, he pops it up foul and out of play down the right field line. Staying alive. So after Nato and Miller both went down via the punch out, Cambeck staying alive and continuing to fight along. 3-2, 2 outs. Lewis's payoff, and Beck strikes out to end the ball game. It's a one-hitter for the Ridgefield Raptors as they win Game 2 of this series by a score of 6-0. Improving to 26-18 on the year. They've won their 3rd straight, and the Elks fall to 16-28, a season worse. 12 games below 500.
The winning pitcher is Parker Heinz. And the losing
Well, from a perspective look and in hindsight, the Elks are fortunate they didn't get no hit tonight. The Ridgefield Raptors pitching staff was dominant. They went 7 2/3 innings of no-hit baseball. And Jackson Murphy, with 2 outs in the 8th inning, lined a single into shallow center field. It got down for a hit, and it broke up that bid. But the game as a whole was told by the story of the pitchers on the Ridgefield Raptors side. Parker Heinz, Max Schneider, Aaron Lewis. All 3 arms combining for a 1-hitter. They held the Elks offense down completely. $16 total strikeouts on the Elks side tonight. And those same stories arising again of, you wonder where the concern comes in and why it started with the swing and miss, but it's just been the thing this year for the 2026 Elks. And to end off the game, Nato, Miller, and Beck strike out, and Aaron Lewis strikes out the side. Getting to the point this year where there's not a whole lot to say. It's just the cards that the Elks have been dealt. It's the season that they've had, and it's been unusual in the Alan Cox era. Back-to-back years of making the playoffs, and this year, the season not over yet, but you're approaching being eliminated from postseason contention. The road struggles have been the main emphasis away from Vincennes Stadium. Bend has struggled and clawed to get anything. Now 6-17, 11 games of below 500 on the road. And they've got a losing streak with 3 in a row. Finn Chapman didn't pitch too bad to start this game. He gave up 4 runs, but he was competitive enough to give his team a chance to win. They turned it to Enrique Perez, who in his first appearance in quite a bit for the Elks out of Oregon Tech looked fine. Jack Harper did too. 6 runs on 13 hits. On the surface, it looks like a tough story for the pitching staff. But the overarching theme was just these dominant pitchers on Ridgefield's side. And you combine that with the best offense in the West Coast League, and you combine that with outstanding pitching, this team can do anything when it comes to the postseason. Locked in as the #1 seed after winning the first half. That South wide open, and the Raptors will be looking to take the crown when those playoffs begin. But one more game in this series coming tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll be back with you on Bend Elks YouTube then. The Elks fall to 1-4 on this road trip, 6-17 away from home. And the tough sledding continues. Have a great night. As always, I'm Aiden O'Neill signing off in the broadcast booth. We'll see